What would you call a system where one person cannot leave their job unless their employer signs a permission slip, where that same person decides if you can stay in the country, feed your kids, sleep safely at night? Imagine they don't love you, don't respect you, and certainly aren't accountable to you. That isn't employment. That isn't reform. It's control. Today, Today, we are unpacking a proposed immigration policy that sounds less like progress and more like a twisted echo of the past. Under this plan, immigration farm workers, some in the US for a decade or more, could stay legally in the US and pay taxes, but there is a catch, and it's a big one. They would have no path to citizenship. Their right to remain would tether to whether a farmer or even a hotel manager or owner signs off their permission slip.
Are we making slavery okay in 2025? Trump just said that if farmers decide to take responsibility for the Hispanic workers that have been working their field for 10 or 15 years, then they can keep them and they don't have to be deported as long as they take responsibility for them. Does that sound familiar? You know why all this sounds familiar? Because after slavery, they used sharecropping and also convict leasing to tie black people to the land. They did not have a voice. They were afraid because their boss held all the power above their head. This is the exact same thing, but now it's with Hispanics. That's not compassion. That's control. Keeping people in the field, but they have no voice. They have no citizenship. They have no real freedom.
I have a big size property. How much is it now to buy exactly? President Donald Trump saying that hotel owners and farm owners, that they can keep their immigrants as long as they take responsibility for them. What does that sound like? Absolutely. President Donald Trump and this administration knows exactly what that sounds like. And then the people on the right are going to say, oh, nothing makes you guys happy, right? Because I've seen that. Nothing makes us happy. What are you talking about? Would anybody be happy like that? Could you imagine your employer, you going to work every day and all of a sudden, instead of getting fired, not only you lose your job because your employer is mad at you and you're out of the country now. You have to leave the United States. What does that sound? That sounds like indentured servitude to me. And we haven't seen nothing like that since, President Lincoln decided to do the Emancipation Proclamation. Could you even imagine working there and saying he wanted to be treated fairly or have competitive wages? Oh, better not go boss, man. Don't go boss. Are you kidding me? This is ridiculous. And anybody that thinks that it's okay is shameful. If they're good enough to be here and those are the people, then let's start getting their damn documents together. You can spend $450 million on Alligator Alcatraz and all this rounding people up and the ICE budget. You need to spend some of that on proper reform. Immigration reform. So if that's the route that we're going, let's make it a little bit more, with a little more dignity for people. So people don't feel like they ownership, right? Anyways, let me know what your thoughts are in the chat. Should we just be quiet and accept it because some people get to be saved here in this country? Or should we keep speaking up and standing up towards what's wrong and how things are being done? That's what I'm wondering. Let me know in the chat. MAGA, do you think that we're being just babies about it? And, well, or we should just take it. Let me know what your thoughts are. Bye.
Trump just said they're going to take the immigrants that they round up and give them to the farmers. And the farmers will be responsible for the immigrants. And they'll be given things and they'll be allowed to pay taxes. They just won't be given citizenship. But all the farmers will be in charge of the immigrants. That's indentured servitude. That's literally slavery. Trump is rounding up immigrants so that he can have them work the farms, but have the farmers have total power over the immigrants. He said this on his tour of Alligator Auschwitz. And what the living shit? He's bringing back slavery, guys. He's bringing back slavery.
Let me be blunt. This is modern day master servant language dressed as policy. The boss signs your feet. You stay silent, work harder, and hope they don't revoke your sleep. Critics compared to endangered servitude, sharecropping, even slavery. Why? Because it grants employers total power, responsibility becomes euphemism for control. Workers have no voice, no real freedom, and certainly no citizenship. So ask yourself, would you work the land, pay your taxes, build a family, yet remain a second-class person because your value is tied solely to someone else's profit? This policy isn't about kindness. It's about convenience. It lets employers survive on cheap labor, but it demands dignity in return. They pitch it as a fix for labor shortages. But if your legal status depends on one person's goodwill, you're not safe. You are shackled. This isn't future talk. This is under discussion now. And without intervention, history won't repeat itself. As reform, it will repeat as oppression. Now, let's break down why this proposal terrifies so many, especially when we look at history. Sharecropping. After slavery ended, Black Americans were trapped on plantations to work land they couldn't own, perpetually in debt, powerless to live. A system of reliance and restriction, convict leasing, post-Civil War. Black men were arrested on flimsy charges and leased out for forced labor. No pay, no freedom, slavery renamed. Here in 2025, we are being asked to accept immigration workers, people feeding us, cleaning for us, tied to, an employer for basic survival. Their stay hinges on someone else's signature. That's not reform. That's institutionalized bondage. Consider the abuse potential. Underpay or harass a worker. Can they report it, or will speaking out mean losing your right to live? Critics put it bluntly. This is legalized fear. If one person holds your future, you're not free. You are owned. Many of these individuals have already contributed for years. They pay taxes and raise families under these plans. Under this plan, still no citizenship, no vote, no say. You can be essential to the economy but denied entry to the society. Legalizing labor but criminalizing autonomy is not reform, it's injustice. Let's be honest. This proposal isn't about solving immigration. It's about preserving a business model. Labor under control, power unwavering. Farmers keep their workforce, but workers get no rights. They feed the nation, but they remain outside it. Critics call it slavery, not hyperbole. It fits when someone controls where you live, what you earn, and if you stay. That's ownership in all but name. Think consequences. Workers won't speak out against abuse, wage theft, unsafe work. Their survival depends on silence. It formalizes fear, not just undocumented denial, but a signed contract of dependency. It erodes dignity. Owner responsibility becomes legal jargon. Ownership language has no place talking about, people. Now, sure, farming is hard. Employers face real challenges, but there is a difference between solving labor demand and creating a new legal caste. You can't tie status to submission. If you're good enough to pay taxes, you are good enough to become a citizen. If you have been in the US for a decade, building and toiling, you deserve respect, not repression. Instead of employer bound status, we need empowerment, protections, rights, real pathways, policies anchored in humanity, not dependency. The phrasing ownership responsibility alone raises alarm. Word frame policies are here. They signal regression. This isn't reform. It looks like oppression in disguise. History tells us what's next. Once a precedent is set, today farmers, tomorrow hotel owners, construction farms, even food service. Who's next when we accept employer-bound citizenship? At stake isn't just immigration policy, it's morality or control and coercion. If people grow our food, pay our taxes, they are part of us. And if they are part of us, they deserve rights, dignity, and belonging. This debate isn't policy, it's human rights. It's for every immigration parent, every field worker, every voiceless laborer. We must hold the line. Never again should anyone accept slavery by another name in, America. Not in 2025. Not ever. Guys, drop a comment below. Let me know whether you agree with me or not. Also, remember to subscribe, like, and share as well. And until next time, bye-bye.